This meeting is being recorded.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us for today's MAI webinar, Write for the Web, with Lekan Otufondurin of Nigeria and Jeins Duran of Colombia. We are excited to see 98 of our friends from 18 countries join us for today's webinar. I think this is the largest registration we've had since we started our MAI webinar. So we're so excited. Welcome. My name is Ramon Rocha, greeting you from the MAI headquarters in Carl Stream, Illinois. You have both the Q&A and the chat windows available for your questions. Feel free to use either of them, and we'll write down your questions as you listen to our presenters, and we will entertain your questions towards the end. You can see in the slide in front of you the statistics as of June 2018. Out of the total 7.7 billion world population, 55% or 4.2 billion use the internet. 68% or 5.2 billion are mobile phone users. And 3.2 billion are active social media users. I think mostly these are Facebook users, as Facebook is the most popular amongst the social media. And with 5G connectivity coming, with satellite Wi-Fi, being available via satellite and no longer, in addition to the cables and the cell site towers, these numbers will increase. As more and more people are connected to the internet, content is still the driving force. Why people read what you post. So what is it that you share to your followers? How do you write for the web? We're happy to have two speakers today, one from Nigeria and one from Colombia. The first is Lekan. Lekan, please show yourself. Lekan, yes, Lekan Otufondurin is a passionate journalist and a career development specialist, media career development specialist. He is the former managing editor of online and special publications with The Nation, Nigeria's leading national daily newspaper. Lekan has a new organization called Media Career Services, MCS. And we will hear Lekan present the how-to after I introduced our second speaker. Second speaker is Jeins Duran. Jeins, could you please show us your face?
Hello, good morning. How are you?
Yes, Jeins is an avid blogger and a trained screenwriter and theater director. He has dedicated more than 15 years of his life to the art of telling stories in literary, artistic, and audiovisual formats. I think, Jeins, you will share your experience on writing on the web, and we would like to hear from you later. We will first have Lekan. Okay, Lekan?
Okay.
Yes, so please start your presentation.
Good afternoon from Nigeria. Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here. This afternoon, I'll be talking about writing for the web. The focus of my presentation is on three main areas. The first one is how can writers maximize opportunities offered by the web on various platforms to complement traditional publishing models. We also offer some tips on writing online, and lastly, options for reaching a global audience, because the World Wide Web is actually global. Before we commence, I want to share with you a statement made by Greg Thomson, a senior vice president of media at Moody Bible Institute. This was 2009. He said, "We don't know what will happen tomorrow, but here we are talking about the future of publishing in the next 20 years. What is sure is that change is coming, and we have to go for it." This was in 2009, and we are 2019. So we are talking about what does the future hold. So if, as far back as 2009, we're talking about what the future holds, you can imagine what we can begin to think now about what the future holds for writing. So why do we have to write for the web? The first point is that the media world has changed a lot. It used to be the traditional format of writing, publishing, but now so much has changed. We are in what we call the multimedia age. For the print media, there are new digital versions of books. Magazines are available online, and there are newsletters, all available online. Newspapers are going online. Some newspapers that have existed for years are disappearing, and they are going online. In some cases, there are no longer print editions of publication. So we are really in a digital age. While web platforms like websites, blogs, and chat rooms and social media will continue to grow. Every day there are new websites, there are new blogs and chat rooms. Social media are multiplying, and we need to write for this platform. The web is a wide mission field. For those of us who are Christians, the web is a mission field with the opportunity for evangelism and discipleship. We can reach so many people across board. We no longer have the limitation of physical boundaries. We can share information, and so many people can be reached. The media world has changed, I've mentioned that. So how do we maximize opportunities? The first point is to say that we need to see the web as complementary. It is disruptive, but it is complementary. It's an alternate platform for publishing. People will always need information. They only want to hear content, but the format has to change. It no longer has to be in book format or how they used to have it. Now, we need to see as complementary. So it means that the platform for reaching people have expanded. We used to have one newspaper, now we have so many other platforms. We used to have one book, we have many other platforms. So we must see it as complementary, as not totally disruptive. Second, we have to come to terms with the changed reading culture. We are in an age when, especially young people, can no longer read what is available in print. Now they want to read on their phones. So however, whatever you are presenting, remember that there are people who want to read on their phones. We need to utilize the platforms for publishing. If we don't utilize this platform for publishing, we are not able to reach a large percentage of people who want to reach us. So it's important that we reach it. To maximize the opportunities, we need to master the use of the operation of online platform. So we need to understand the technology. How does it work for us to be able to use it? We need to promote and market books and publication. Hitherto, you print a book in Nigeria, the audience is only in Nigeria. With this platform, you're able to promote your book and market your books globally. So from whatever part of the world that you are, you can market your book and promote your book. So a book that is local can get international acclaim because it's available online. You can market and sell across the globe. So what do we write for the web? So many things to write. The content of website is very, very important because it will determine the traffic of visitors. It's important to understand that if you don't have this, this is a challenge. So what do you write? We've talked about books. There are books that are available online. You can write articles, individual articles on various topics. If you are a news person, you can write stories for publication, depending on the platform that you are writing for. You can write reports. All organizations have reports that are available online. There's news, there's information, there are testimonies and other forms of writing. So content is very, very key because it determines whether people will come to your website or not. What are the characteristics of the web audience? This is very, very important, and we need to understand. First, it is global. So as you write from whatever part of the world you are, you need to understand that you are writing to a global audience, and that must determine how you write. The divergent interests and needs. You can't be too sure who is reading. So it could be somebody who has divergent interests. How do you cater for this? Easy and fast access to information. The people you are trying to reach have easy and fast access to information. So how do you reach them? And lastly, these are people who scan text and don't have time to read everything. They're in a hurry to read the next thing, or to go to the next website, or to check the next social media platform. How do you deal with this? So let's talk about what are the main differences between writing for the web and print. Many of us have been used to writing for the print, but now we are talking about writing for the web. The first point to note is that writing is writing. It is not fundamentally different, but these are the things to note. Web communication requires multimedia approach. So unlike before, when you are just writing text, for multimedia, you need to understand that it's a multimedia platform. It requires multimedia approach. That means you are writing text. That content is also having photographs. It's also having video. It's also have links for people to share. So it's a multimedia approach, and this must inform how you are writing. Your main goal should be to get people to visit your website and blog site as often as possible. So when you are writing, you are conscious of the need. How do you get people to come? What can make them come? What kind of headlines will make people want to read? What kind of content will make them to stay and continue to read? Number 1 point, brevity is it. It should not be too long. I've mentioned earlier that the attention span is very, very low. So you have to be conscious that as you write as brief as possible. But while you are being brief, you should focus on the subject matter. What are you trying to write about? What is it that you want people to get? What is your essential message? That should be on top of what you are writing, because if you lose people at that point, you may not get them back. It could be long, but it has to be written in a compelling way. There are people who write long things for the websites and the different blog sites, but it's important that it's compelling. It's compelling. Somebody wants to say, this issue is very, very interesting, I want to read. So how do you achieve this? If it's very long, how do you achieve it? Number 1, you can use introductory summary. That means you can summarize the focus of your presentation in 1, 2, 3 paragraphs and provide a link if they want to read more. Unlike when you present the whole full text and they are discouraged from reading, the first thing is to say, this is a summary of what I want to write. You want to click and you continue to read. The next point is to say, use headings and subheadings. Even in normal writing, we use headings and subheadings. So when you write something that is like, let's say, a full page, 1,000 words, how do you get somebody to read? You have to have subheadings that introduces somebody to the next point that you are making. Use subheadings. Use bullet points with brief explanation. So for example, if you are writing about something like 5 ways to be an author, to write a book. So the reader knows that you're talking about 5, but you must have subheadings, and there must be brief introduction that helps somebody to keep reading, because you have said 5, you want to continue to read what you're talking about. Inverted pyramid style is very, very important for writing for the web. In normal writing, we talk about inverted pyramid in news writing. It means that the essential information is at the very top. For publishers, for newspaper publishers, inverted pyramid is used in a situation where, for example, you have written 5 paragraphs and all that can be accommodated is just 2. How do you ensure that the most important thing is at the beginning? So essential information starts with additional information and least important information. So if the reader wants to read the essential information, he gets that information, because you just have a few seconds to catch their attention. If you don't catch it at that moment, you lose it. So have behind your mind inverted pyramid, the most important thing first. Get that information out and ensure that they keep reading if they want to continue to read. Explanation and links. In writing for the web, it's important to put in the proper context for the reader to understand. As much as we are in a hurry, what is the background information that you are talking about? If you are talking about 2019, is there something that happened last year that you need to bring back that attention as brief as possible? You need to refer to past record, and there will be links for somebody to click and to read more. Write local, think global. This is very, very important. We say we are considering a global audience, but consider the global nature of the web audience. As you make references, see how you can refer to somewhere and say Lagos as big as New York, as big as England or something like that. So make reference to things that people who are trying to address can capture the point that you are making. It's very important. You are writing for a local audience, but you are thinking global. And you are writing for global audience, you want them to also catch what you are saying. The headline must be very grabbing. This is also very, very important. What kind of headline do you use? In print, you can afford to use some very passive headlines because somebody is already there ready to read. But here we are talking about somebody who is in a hurry to leave. So we have an example on board. If this headline had been written, milk prices drop, somebody may just move on. But you are talking about cows lose their job as milk price drops. So somebody is wondering, how can cows lose their job? Were they employed in the first place? So it's important to have headlines. I remember a particular headline I would like to cite here. There was a write-up sometimes ago in Nigeria. It was quoting a pastor who was talking about 5 things. And the headline was, 5 things you need to know about marriage. Number 3 is very essential. So you want to read number 1, number 2, and even number 3. So it's important to have headlines that can grab attention. You need to keep them. Niche writing is very, very important. We are talking about writing for the web. You need to find what you are very, very passionate about. You need to write about areas, specific areas. So that, for example, if your website is about relationship, let somebody know that you are a relationship expert. If it's about reading, let them know what you're talking about. If it's about the environment, whatever you are writing about. I, for example, am a media career development specialist. I'm interested in writing about media career issues. So if somebody has been following me, they will come back and read about the things about it. It's very, very important. In writing for the web, you need to know what is trending, what is current, what are people talking about at this point in time. You need to find it so that you can write about it, because when people are coming online, they are looking for what is trending. Trending is an online language that is about what is trending, what is happening. What are people reading about? You need to find the keywords. Even in a large topic, what are the key things that people are looking for? So you are writing about publishing, I'm talking about magazine publication. So that is the keywords. So you must find a keyword, you must know what is trending so that you can key into it and be able to provide perspective at every point in time. It's important to understand this. You need to write lively and tight. I mentioned that. So writing for the web is a cross between broadcast and print. In broadcast, we talk about sound bites. What is most important? So you need to find that writing for the web should be a cross between broadcast and print, tighter and punchier than print. While in the print, you have the luxury of keeping the people to read. Online, you need to provide the punch. You need to write actively, not passive. Active, not passive, but more literate, detailed than broadcasting. It has to be very busy, physical and conventional. This is very, very important. All of us have our own style. But for writing for the web, sometimes unconventional style. Feel free to use your own style that is unconventional, conversational style. Conversing with it. Imagine you are conversing with somebody, you are talking about him and he can get you. So it's listening, imagine you are just right in front of him. So how can you exploit unconventional style that is personal to you? But you must do something that you must grow over a period of time. So online audience are more accepting of unconventional style for writing. So find your style and be decisive about it. What not to publish. We've talked about so much about what not to publish, but let's say that you need to avoid unethical practices. There are things that are not acceptable for publishing. There are rules that are guiding publishing, and you need to know them. There are copyright issues and things you need to know. Avoid peddling rumors. When you are publishing for online, in these days of information overload, there's so much coming around. You need to avoid reinstating things that are not true. So you need to understand this and do. You need to give credit to source of your information, other materials from other sites. This is very critical. Online is not an excuse to use information that is not yours. So it's important that we give credit to sources for information and other materials from other sites for us to use. More than writing, learn how to share your report if you want more people to read them. So it's one thing to write, but you need to understand how to share your report. And I'm sure that my co-facilitator is going to speak about that. So how do you share your report? How do you share them on social media? How do you share them on your website so that more people can do it? So it's important. A story is available on one website. People need to know. If, for example, you have 500 followers, 5,000 followers on Facebook, you need to be able to share that information. It's very, very important. Know how to update sites and other technical details. This may get very complicated, but sometimes you need to know basic media website operation so that you can get people's attention. The beauty about online writing is that you can correct your errors. Unlike print, where what you are writing is printed and you can change it. Online, you can quickly go back and correct. So feel free to go back and correct, but it's important that what you are pushing out is correct. I guess I'm getting to the end of my slide. Thank you for listening. There'll be time for questions. Here are my details. Thank you.
Thank you, Lekan. Thank you for sharing your expertise and insights on the topic. I'm sure our listeners, our audience have questions, and I hope you're writing them down, and we'll entertain the questions at the end of the hour. Lekan, would you please stop sharing your screen so I can also share the next screen? Thank you. Okay, so I don't know if let me share my screen. Okay, so our next speaker is Jeins Duran, and he will tell us about his website and the house of writing for the web. So this is Jeins' website. He has a book that was just launched last year. So if you go to his website, you will see his testimony and all the other activities that he has done so far. So Jeins, could you please start your presentation?
Yeah, of course. Hi, everybody. Good morning. How are you? It's a pleasure to be here. I'm very excited and I'm very happy to stay with you. And I want to begin it. I want to know, somebody knows Medellin, Colombia? Hello, Nicolas. Hello, everybody. Okay. Okay, I'm here. Thank you. Somebody knows Medellin? I want to show you a little bit of Medellin, okay? I know this is not in the program, but this is not the protocol, but I want to show you a little bit of Medellin, Colombia. It's a little cold today, but this is my city, and you're welcome to Colombia. Okay. I'm a writer, and I want to show you something about what I do. Just give me a second, please. I'm going to share a little video with you. Okay, this is my web. This is my presentation, and I want to show you a little video. This is my book. It's called Cell 212, and I want to show you because I want you to know that it's very important. You know, why do you want to write? Okay. Then, when I wrote this book, Cell 212, my dream was to be in the best library of Colombia. And this is my dream. This is the principal library of Colombia. Okay, and just a little video I want to show with you, because I think what is the important in this in the writing is, why are you going to write? Is the first. Why are you going to write? I think you must have. I think you must have. I think you must have. Why do you want to write? Because writing is a long shot, and writing cannot to depend from the you can depend of your feelings. You feel good today and you are going to write because you feel good, it's okay. But if tomorrow you feel bad and you are not going to write, then you are not going to be a writer. Because, for example, when I wrote this book, I was sit down during 2 years, every day by day and night by night writing. And if you write before you start to writing, if you write, why are you going to write? I think God give us a gift, and the talent to write is a gift. And if you understand, and if you know that the people needs what you write, you can write why you are going to do this, because it's not by feelings or by emotions. And if you write this clearly, every morning you are going to remember, I have to do this because God gave me this gift, or because I want to do it. Why? This is very important, okay? Then, first, define your why. Why do you want to write? Because it's a gift, okay? Now, the internet is the best way to show the world what you do. I think to print a book is very important, but when you are on the internet, you can touch the heart of millions of people, and this is great. This is fantastic, because with a print book is a little difficult, but on the web, for example, in this case, today I'm talking with very much people for every word, and I'm very happy. This is possible because the internet, okay? Then I use the digital funnel as, for example, let me show you this next slide. Okay, excuse me. Okay, this is a digital funnel. I think is the best way to connect with the people. There are so many publications on the internet. What do you have that is special for the people? What is that who makes you different? I think you first have to attract the people. As Lekan said, you need to attract the people. And what's the key? I think the key is value content. If you have if you think in people before you and you want to give people some value, the people are going to feel attract for you. Then we are going to attract, we are going to convert, engage, we are going to sell, you are going to connect. But the first is you have to think in your people first. Okay. Now, what about the landing page? I think the landing page is very, very important. Your blog is like your house. You must have a beautiful landing page because the people want to read something great and people want to read something beautiful too. Then the landing page, you need to have a beautiful landing page. Okay. Then, how to start? I think it's very important you find a mentor because the mentor have the experience and the knowledge that you don't have. And to find a mentor is really easy because in internet there are so many mentors in Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook. Okay. And you can find a mentor and you can learn very much things about how to write, what books they recommend, and I think it's easy to walk this way with a good mentor. Okay, second, analyze your target. It's very important. For example, we are Christians. And maybe we think all Christian wants to read the same thing. And I think, I believe Christians want to read another things. For example, in my blog, I write stories, just stories. Stories about my life, about my friends, about my family. And I put just a little bit of the Word of God, but you have to connect the story with the Word of God, and it functions for me. I think it's all right. Okay, and it's important. 3, value content. I think we must think about what the people need, what my reader needs. I think what the people want to read is not about me, it's about they, it's about my readers, it's about what do they need, what do they want. And I think I have to give them the best of me. And the key is to serve. If you write to serve the people, to serve the church, to serve your community, to serve your family, but that is the principal objective, you are going to touch, God is going to touch the hearts of your readers. And to be original, please. I think it's so easy to make comparisons with another writers, but I think it's not good, because if you are original, people are going to identify with you and people are going to follow you because you are original, because you are writing the truth, because you have your style. Then I think I recommend, please be you, Be original. Write what is in your heart. Don't try to write like another writers. No, write like you. I think I repeat, God gives you that gift, and you just have to use it. Okay. About the design in Colombia, we said in Spanish is zapatero a tus zapatos. In English, it's like showmaker to your shoes. You have to do what you have to do and what you know how to do. If you are a writer, you just have to write, because there are another people who knows how to make the website, the marketing, la. But you have to write, and please write. The world wants to read what you write. You just have to write. Please focus on write what you have to do. And my friends, to write or writing is a long shot. It's not one day, 1 month. It's a long shot, and you have to have constancy, and you must have faith in you, and you must have faith and engagement and consistent actions. That is, if you pray before writing, you have to act. You have to writing every day. Every day. I repeat, you have to write every day, because writing is a gift, and people needs what you are going to write. Okay? Then I just want you to know that there are so many things in this way that could be difficult, but if you have faith and you know God gives you that gift, you are going to write, and the world is going to say thank you for write and for do what you have to do. Okay, that's all for today. Ramon, if you want to continue with the questions.
Yes. Thank you so much, Jeins. You have such a rich experience, and thank you for sharing.
It's a pleasure.
We will send you all those who have registered for this webinar. We will send you the slides, the PowerPoint slides of both our presenters.
Of course.
Yes. If you have any question at this time, please type in your question. You can use the Q&A, or you can use the chat window. So any question for our speakers, for Lekan and for Jeins? So Jeins, who was your mentor? Who was your mentor?
Okay, I have really several mentors. I read a book. It's very, very good about to tell stories from Robert McKee. You know?
Who's the author?
Robert McKee.
McKee.
Yeah.
MCKEY.
McKee. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's because his book is about how to tell stories, and that is what I do, to tell stories.
Is that the title of the book, How to Tell Stories?
No, the title is the screenplay.
The screenplay. The book is entitled The Screenplay, and the author is
Robert McKee.
Robert
McKee.
Okay. Can you type in the chat window?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
In the chat, Robert McKee.
Yeah. Title of the book and And the author. We have Robert McKee. Okay, thank you. Uncle Lekan, this is a question from Kelechi. Thank you for your presentation. I would like to find out, do you prescribe a specific amount of words a web story should have?
Well, can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Okay, well, you can't be too sure what you're talking about. It depends on the platform. Each platform has its own limitation. But suffice to say that if you're writing for a website, in the normal writing of news story, there are minimum words that you need to write. Sometimes some people say just write maybe like a few words. The first paragraph must not be too wordy. The principle of writing in print is still applies here. So what we're saying is there's no particular word, but as long as you can capture the audience, make your writing as your sentences as short as possible.
Okay.
If it's a news story, we're talking about 6, 7, 8 paragraphs, but there's a link to a larger version. I've mentioned that sometimes you can have a summary and you have a link to what you want to write. So don't limit yourself too much, but ensure that it's something that somebody can comprehend. Like this principle of reading, read this thing to yourself. Do you have to break before you get to the end of the sentence? Then that means something is telling you that there's something wrong. So use minimal words to communicate. Use shorter words. Where you can use 3 words, 1 word, don't use 3 words. Just the principle of writing.
Okay.
If you are writing, for example, if you are writing for, let's talk about, because writing for the web includes writing for the social media. If you are writing on Twitter, for example, it used to be 140, but I think it's much more than that now. So you can actually write even on Twitter and have 3, 4 paragraphs within the limitation. I think it's now 240 words that is required.
Okay, thank you. Barbara has shared to us the link from Amazon. Is this the book? Story, Structure, Substance, Principle, Screenwriting. Barbara is asking Jeins if this is the correct book that you were recommending.
Oh yeah, this is the book.
That's the book. Okay, thank you, Barbara, for sharing that link. Yes. Okay. From Sanmi, Jeins, how do you determine that the audience you have online is right for you? How do you know that you are reaching the right audience?
Okay. It's for, excuse me, Barbara. Oh, who's making the question?
Oh, it's Sanmi. Sanmi.
Sanmi. Okay. Hello, Sanmi. From Medellin. I use Google Analytics. Google Analytics. And for example, if you write an article and you put on your blog, and after a week, you can go to Google Analytics and you are going to see what is happening. For example, if the people from your city is writing and you can see who is writing your articles. And then my recommendation is please use Google Analytics. It's free and simple.
Okay, thank you. For those of you who have not used Google Analytics, Jeins is recommending that you use it. It's for free. You don't pay for it, right?
Yeah, it's free.
Yeah. Funmi also asked, what is the benefit of multimedia to my site? So both of you, Lekan and Jeins, both of you said to use the multimedia.
Okay,
so
well,
what is the benefit? Lekan.
Okay, multimedia, like we mentioned, is the audience that are coming to your website. They're not looking only for text. If website is made of text alone, it will be very boring. So you are having text, you're having pictures, you're having videos, you're having maps, you are having infographics. These are the things that can keep people glued to your website. So what we can explain in 3 paragraphs, an infographic can explain everything. Funny can see the maps. You are describing the distance between somewhere and another place. A digital map will show. This is very, very critical to retain the attention. If you have an interview on your website, feel free to have a few minutes video that you recorded during that interview that somebody can watch. So if he's not interested in reading, he can watch the video. That is why it's very, very important.
Yes, so we should use video, infographics, photos, maps, not just the text.
Yes.
Okay, that's how you connect with your readers. How do you become a persistent? What are the disciplines of a writer? How do you do it? Like Jane said, every day, write every day. How do you do it?
Okay, I think the key is before write your why. Because if you are clear and you know you have to write it, you have to do it, and then you are going to write with no fear, with no doubts. No, I don't know in English in Spanish is dudas or miedo. If you know that God called you to write, if you know that, you just do it. Just do it every day. And if you do this for 21 days, for example, and every day you're going to write, you are going to create the habit to write. You just need discipline. And do it every day.
Can I add something?
Yes,
okay. The discipline of writing has to come naturally. You must have a flair to be able to write. This morning, for example, I saw something on Facebook. Because that thing has something to do with media career, I was going out, I had to sit down and ensure I wrote before I left home. Because if I leave, I may not be able to write. Yes. So you must understand your own writing style. Okay. Some people like to write at the last minute. If it works well for you, know that you can do that. But don't get yourself fixated about particular writing style, but develop your own, but it's a discipline. Don't tell me you're a writer if you don't write.
Okay. What about time of day? Do you have any rhythm? There should be a place. Ali Kennedy is asking.
Well, for me, it depends on your style. For example, sometimes I'm eating, a paragraph occurs to me, I want to write it down. So it depends on how it works out for you. I write anytime it occurs to me, and I develop my own style. I don't have any particular style, but we're all different.
Okay. So Jane said you write every day and you post on your blog every day, James?
Not really.
Not every day. You don't post new things every day.
Okay, no, but on my Instagram and Facebook and Twitter, I try to post every day.
Okay.
On my Instagram, for example. But these 2 months, I was working on the second edition of the book. Then I was working every day, but I write every day on social media.
Okay. Congratulations on your book, Zelda 212.
Thank you so much.
And then you
I want to add something.
Yes, I can.
I have a book. Unfortunately, I don't have it with me here. It's called Becoming the Journalist You Ought to Be. Okay. It's actually a compilation of my over a month everyday publication on Facebook.
Okay.
So I decided to write every day on Facebook about this particular issue, and I compiled it into a book. And it's a good, best-selling book now.
Okay, the book is
I wrote every day.
Becoming a journalist,
journalist you ought to be.
You ought to be. Okay.
Yes, the journalist you ought to be.
Okay.
So it was a compilation of 1 month of Facebook writing.
Okay. In my letter to all the those who have registered, please send me the link to your book so I can share it with all those who registered. Yes. Musoni Mercy is asking, are there any apps or online tools you can recommend to help a writer structure writing for the web? Any apps or any online tools?
Yes.
James? Yes.
Yeah. For example, I use for my blog, I use WordPress.
Okay.
Yes.
WordPress. And there is a plugin on WordPress is Yoast. Yoast. I wrote it. If you use WordPress, I think it's very good for SEO. The Yoast is going to help you to the SEO on the web. It's very good. I recommend it. Yoast.
Yoast.
Yeah.
So you have an account. This is also like an app or writing tool like WordPress?
Well, WordPress is the template for publishing online. But when you are talking about apps, I don't have a particular one, but I'm sure that if you search online, you'll find some depending on the one that works for you. Mm-hmm. But WordPress, like you had mentioned, is a template for the website, and it's user-friendly.
Yes. I think that's the most popular.
I have another.
Aha.
Okay.
And it's for everybody, for every writer. Please use the dictionary. I use it every day. Please, no, it's not a joke, but it's serious. You have to use the dictionary every day.
I also use the thesaurus for Priscilla Goy. The first speaker, Lekan, talked about writing locally for the global audience. Could you elaborate on this? Since the local audience is different from the global audience, typically newspapers are either more local or more international. So how do you combine writing locally and thinking globally as well?
Okay, let me make it a bit simple. For example, until December, I used to work in a national newspaper in Nigeria. The content of the print has to be modified sometimes when it's going online. So when you are saying Lagos in the print edition, everybody in Lagos understands. But if you put Lagos online, you can say, for example, in West Africa. So you need to provide a bit explanation. So when you are mentioning local places, you have to put it in context. Like we say, Abuja, Nigeria's federal capital. So you have those kind of things that somebody from the global audience can connect with. That's the point I was making.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Ali Kennedy is asking Jains. I think, Ali, are you both a speaker and a life coach? Are you saying what should you focus on? Should you have, like in her case, she's asking, should she focus on should you have a coaching website or a speaking website, assuming you have these two different roles, and you are a coaching website, you have a speaking website.
Okay, I have both of them.
You have both of them?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. For example, I have a digital mentor who is in Spain, in Europe, and I just follow him on YouTube, and he's writing every day about reads, books, writing, and I follow him, and I write what is he talking about. And I have a presential mentor because I have a writers team. I don't know. It's a place we go every Saturdays in the afternoon, and we drink Colombian coffee, the best coffee of the world, and we talk about books and how to write and keys, and that's very important. It's like a team, a group. I don't know, and we invite writers. And and I think it's very important to be with people who write too. Like in this moment, I think this is very, very important because there are no many writers, and there are no many Christian writers, and there are no many writers who want to share what they know. And then I think it's important to be with persons who write.
Okay. So I think what you're saying is if like these two people that you are following, they are focusing on one expertise, maybe. Ali is saying sometimes it's a toss between focusing on coaching or focusing on speaking. So I think she's asking, should she focus on one only, or she could do both?
Yeah, I could. Okay, can I say something?
Yes, yes.
Yes, well, the most important thing is that you can have the two platforms. You can have one for coaching and one for public speaking, because the audience, they are two different audiences. So it's important that you can have that and fit that audience. The point we are trying to make is that writing is a discipline. And for example, I am a media career development specialist, and I write a lot about this issue on all the platforms.
Mm-hmm.
I have there's a Medium platform. I even write on LinkedIn because I'm trying to it's the people you are trying to reach that you find the platform where you can reach them. So if you have public speaking content, provide it and let them know that they can find you.
In the same website. Yeah,
you can have two areas of specialty. Is not too much for a particular website. We are talking about finding your niche. Two is okay. The most important, I don't make it too general.
Yes. So Ali said, Lekan said, you can have the same topics, the two topics in the same website. Yeah. Ina is asking, Jeins, do you have an English translation of your book?
We are doing the translation in this moment.
Okay.
Thank you for asking.
So are you selling? Is your book available in the entire Latin America continent, not only in Colombia? You should have fans in other Latin American countries too.
Okay, right? In this moment it's just in Colombia because we launched it just some 3 months ago.
Okay.
But we're going to have the book in Amazon in English and for you.
Thank you. Okay. There's some comments here. Yes, Jeins, you're going to say something?
Excuse me, I'm reading a question from Sanmi. How do you transform the passion of writing as a Christian writing to making money? I think it's Sanmi. Thank you very much for your question. Finally, somebody talking about money. Thank you. Okay. This is very important because I want to tell you my story. I began to write, and I wrote a great book in a notebook. Okay. Then I wrote a story like a preacher, for example. Do you understand?
Yes.
I wrote a learning. Then I went to my editor, and I was so proud, and I said, "Oh, my friend, I have tremendous book. This is a great story. Please read it." Then my editor took the notebook and began, and he said, "This not," and he led me one page. And I was crying, and what happened? Why? And then he said, because there are so many books like this. When you have the knowledge and you say, hello, I'm going to give you the knowledge. And there are so many books like this. And he said, the universal literature is not like this. For example, in your case, you just have to tell the story. Tell the people the story, and let the people enjoy the story. Then I changed my way to write, and I began to write the story, just the story. And I'm going to tell you what God did in my life, but I'm not a preacher. Okay? Then to answer the question, in my case, I wrote a book who is not, okay, let me see. It's not a Christian book, okay? It's a story. Anybody can read my book. My book is written by children, by professionals, by lawyers, we sold out the first 1,000 copies in 2 months. We sold out the first edition. And to make money is necessary for the writer. You have to please understand this. The money is necessary for the writer, because writing is like another profession.
Exactly.
And I am a writer. My work is write every day. And I write for another people, and I edit and other things. But my life is to write. Then you have to look for how to make commercial products. Okay? Then I think you have to think in your target. Please think in your target before writing. This is very important. And please make money. We need more writers.
Can I add something?
Yes, Lekan.
Okay, well, I was just going to recall one of the Lit World conference. That was this topic about whether it's ministry or business. You know, it's a combination of the two. Okay. So you must, as a Christian writer, you must see that it's a combination of both ministry and business. But being a Christian writer does not mean that you don't understand the basics. So you must understand the principles of publishing. You must know what a good book is a good book. A bad book will not sell because it's a Christian book. It's important that there are standards that we must achieve. And you can be a Christian writer and not necessarily write about the Bible. So I'm a Christian journalist, for example. I write about media career matters, but I'm allowing the Spirit of God to speak through me to minister to journalists. So as much as you write, you must pray for direction, but like I've said, you must understand the basic principle. What is a good book like? What must the cover be like? What is the minimum number that sells? What is the asking rate? What is the cost of paper? What does it cost to reduce your cost? So those are all the things that you need to, if you understand that, you'll be able to flow. You may not be able to make all the money, but you will make some minimum money. But more importantly, understand publishing, even when you're a Christian. attend conferences like Eatword Conference, network with Christian writers, and find how to remain relevant.
Thank you for that. Thank you for reminding us, Lekan, to understand the business side of it. Ina shared a quotation here, what is most personal is most universal, by Carl Rogers. Thank you, Ina, for sharing that words of wisdom. Yeah, Rhoda, Jeins, Lekan, writing is more of inspiration than mere flares for writing as a Christian. It is most important to listen to your inner, still, small voice. Thank you, Rhoda. Okay, so I think we are having a wonderful time of question and answer, and I thank you, all our participants, for interacting with us. This is just a very good time of exchanging ideas and learning from one another. But most importantly, we are so grateful to Lekan and Jeins for being our speakers this morning for today's webinar. Any parting words from the two of you? Lekan first, any parting words to our listeners?
Well, my parting word is that as Christians, we need to make use of the internet the way God has provided this knowledge. It's a platform to reach the world. Our goal is to share the gospel in whatever way. Even if you are sharing the gospel of professionalism, the internet provides you an ample opportunity. So don't let us behave like those people who say this is another technology by the devil. This is a platform to reach the world, and we must use it. Understand how it works and use it at every level you get to. You need to be on social media to communicate. You need to use website. You need to have blogs, and we need to use get to reach the young ones. It's very important. Thank
you so much, Lekan. And Jeins, any parting words for our audience?
Yeah, thank you so much for this invitation. I would like to continue in this group, in this team. I would like to serve you. And I just want to finish with something. Okay, this book, Cell 212, is the story about a man, a father of family, who was in a violent jail here in Colombia. He was condemned to 15 years. But God gives him a strategy to love and to serve, to come back home. That man, it's me. I want to tell you something, to tell you, my friends. No matter what happened in your life, no matter the problem, the obstacle, I was in jail. I wrote this book in jail. If God gives you a gift to write, just write. God is going to open the doors. Guys, God is going to put people around you to help you to go ahead to write, to publish your book. Do you know who is the co-producer of this book? It's Troy Buder. He's from Disney. He came to Colombia to talk about something of cinematic, and he knows me, and he said, I'm going to produce your book. God is going to help you. God is going to put the person, the contacts, the time, the money, whatever you need. You just write every day and every night. And if
Ramon.
Yes, thank you.
Can I just say one more thing?
Yes, Lekan.
Okay, I remember an example I shared during the last Eatword Conference, why it's important for Christians to write. So there was this church that imagined all the questions unbelievers want answers to. So what they did was to provide these answers and put them on their website. So there was this lady at a moment of despair. She went online and she just Googled, is there God? And lo and behold, that question has been answered on that website by that church. It came up, she read it, and she found some other answers. and she became a Christian. So we are saying writing is not an hard and fast thing. If God lays on your mind to share your testimony on Facebook, please share it as modestly as possible. Find time to use this platform in a way that we can populate the gospel that we are trying to reach the world. Thank you, and God bless you all.
God bless you too. Thank you. As Christine and as Brenda said, this has been a very inspiring and encouraging webinar. Thank you to both of you. Thank you, Lekan, and thank you, Jeins. Thank you for sharing your experiences, your insights, your words of wisdom, your encouragements to all of us to continue writing and allow God to use our writing for His honor and glory. So thank you, everyone. Thank you for joining us, for participating, for asking your questions, for interacting with us. I will write to all of those who registered and share our presenters' PowerPoint slides and their email addresses if you want to. Is that okay, Lekan and Jeins? If you want to ask them any follow-up question, you can write to them directly. So, and also share with the links to their respective books. So thank you very much to all of you. Thank you to our speakers. God bless you all.
Thank you very much. God bless you.
Okay.
God bless you.
Bye-bye.